is good friend Bruce Later. New book. Give it up for Bruce, local poet.
Thanks, Alice. Great to see so many poetry fans show up in this nice venue for reading poetry. If we could just put a lid on some of the noise downstairs, it'd be great. I'm going to read from the new book. It's a new full-length collection. I'll also be reading tomorrow night about 7:30 as part of the narrative segment. There are other segments, including formal poetry and humor. Hope you can all show up again for that. In the previous incarnation, I was a teacher in New York City. I worked with urban teenagers. The first poem is about the spirit of those children. It's called Attendance Check. Swapping cigarettes, jabs, chips, they drift like rockaway waves from the boys' home into the classroom. Ninth graders no one would bet on, discarded by split parents. The deck of misfortune they inherited keeps shoving them to grow up the hard way, hustles them to hazardous fringes, rips off their blooming. A hot tide of easy dope has begun to nettle attitudes, submerge questioning minds. And yet, their feisty, undefeated spirits grapple with prison sentences of poverty, shirtless torsos, flaunt scars, coded storylines of tested identity, graffiti pledges of belonging. Their dicey hands are mauled, notched and zigzagged from brutal battles to breach a barbed wire fate. Jumpy after all-night scuffles with gangs prowling Times Square, they dodge and gamble to exist. Smell like a crowded gym, fists ready for fast money. To get over on teachers, settle scores, stay afloat in the system chiseling them. After I left my career in teaching in the public schools, I took off to the West Coast and just went wherever I felt like going. And one of the places I stopped in was Oregon, which is became home to a famous poet named William Stafford. And what I did was I found a place to live and kind of changed my lifestyle in a way. This is a completely different atmosphere. It's called Letter to William Stafford. William Stafford had a way of writing which was one poem a day, and he would prescribe that to future poets and say that it's a good way to develop your writing skills. And I was trying that. It didn't seem to work. I've been trying your routine of writing a poem a day, to invent an embouchure for a fountain of language, groove rhythms of nature like breathing, produce a spring of harmonies from essential daily tasks. What do I know about pastoral life, a Brooklyn transplant, looking after this Willamette River farmstead for friends east of Oak Ridge? Every morning, zilch. Feed livestock, goose egg. Rain tambourines the roof, and my only image is a muddy path to empty pages. Vigilant by the window, a secluded cabin, would I notice a disturbance if on legs of night a gray fox skulked the distant field and looted the chicken barn or duckling pen? I wonder if it's possible to describe the incandescent sparkle on a crow's feathers, the way Van Gogh daubed sunlight in strands of wheat, reveal a mystery elusive as the moon ghosting mountains of cedar and cottonwood. This evening I thought messages were encoded in rays filtering through the trees, and I could decipher notes of thrush, vireo, flycatcher, woodpecker, and kinglet intoning riffs. Were they only cabin fever illusions like wanting to float on a river of metaphors, compose words for the music winding down these cascades, the dream of mingling a waterfall of misty phrases? Do you have the key to unlock the kaleidoscope of light and shadow that dovetails forest haze, turns the valley knolls into a fabric of ebbing and flowing waves, Send a falcon with vision to decode birdsong, orchestral, with a map of notes, showing where to discover an emerald bridge, the way you flew beyond time. Is that fun?